Hello everyone, this is Music and All, and I'm back at it with part two of my BL ships that sank. And like I mentioned in the first video, if you haven't seen it, today's video is going to be on Slam Dance, another show by GMMTV. And GMMTV has a lot of BL ships that sank and more in the last 10 years than they have more recently because, they've switched their approach, and I'll just leave it at that and put a pin in that because I'll talk more about that for my closing remarks. But without yapping too much, I'll get into Drake Sing, which Drake plays Pob or Pob, I don't know. But I'll just say Pob because I'm an English speaker, and I think in Thai when they say it's Pob, but I don't know. And then Singh plays Nuke Nick, but I'm just gonna call him Nick because what are these names? No offense. So, this is a secondary couple, but yeah, it's secondary couple. I honestly did not watch the show back then when it first came out, and I definitely didn't watch it now when I was remaking it. I don't know why it randomly popped in my brain, but it did. So that's what inspired me to do part two. So Pob makes the first move for the entire couple, and this is how their first interaction. I'll get, but that was never explored from my knowledge at least. So I guess we'll never know. And if that was the case, like a little crushy crush was in order, then that would also be a BL ship that sank between Plume and Guy, which are the people that play Ryu and Bass. So it's just like, what could have been? Sail? So I guess they can't sink if they never set sail. But shh, let a girl believers wanted Ryu and P. Bass, to fight each other. So we see later in episode 6 that Pob has back pain because in P. Bass's group, they were doing like throws for the entire day. So Nick sees this, and we see Nick struggling with wrestling exercises, and he wasn't able to overtake Pob while they were practicing in front of the entire group. So the senior, I don't remember which member was it. He's like, I don't like that. You suck. You're behind everybody else. Like, you're so weak. So a couple years ago, but when I was looking at it, I thought they were faking in order to like make it look like they weren't a couple or a couple to be, I guess. But no, the girls were just fighting. So that concludes their scenes in episode 6. So in episode 7, they were awkward with each other, and Nick moved out of the room that they were sharing with each other for a microsecond. But, that's okay because Pop spent that entire episode trying to apologize, and they ended up semi making up, and they were forced to. And we don't really see them again until episode 10, where something went down. Don't know, don't care, didn't watch it. But Pob and the rest of 13 episodes, I don't remember, but literally that was the last we saw of them. And I could have watched a couple compilations just to be sure, because I did skip around a lot, but hey, just take my word for it, baby. Anyways, so I hope you enjoyed that coherent review of Slam Dance. It's definitely one of the unique shows that GMMTV released during its time. Yes, it was repetitive in the sense that it was a university theme, I think. I don't know. It was a school themed drama, and it had the usage of the comedic relief type queer characters, but hey, everybody was doing it back then. But that doesn't mean it's right. Anyways, I'll just insert my honorable mentions because these mentions are shows that I didn't bother watching, but I know of, or watched, but I don't feel compelled to rewatch, or watched just weren't memorable in any way. And this time around, I only have two, which is My 12%, which I didn't watch, and Ton Chonleti. And I watched that, but it isn't memorable in the slightest, so oh well. Anyways, for my closing remarks, I'm just glad that I rewatched Theory of Love and Slam Dance, I guess, because it just reminded me of the diverse cast that GMMTV used to have before they started using the same 20 something actors in every project. And it's just like I could make a bingo card with the certain actors that they put in the shows for the last couple of years. And it's just like even if they've been getting new faces, I just don't get excited by to watch any of these shows anymore. Like I was only excited for a couple of the 2024 lineup and 2025 lineup, which all the shows that I'm excited for still have not come out. The only one that I know that I liked that came out was the X Morning, I think it's called, but the even the GMMTV stuff that I'm currently watching, I'm not gonna name names because it's my opinion, but I'm just actively trying not to fall asleep, honey. But whatever. They're almost over. Put me out of my misery though. Um Furthermore, we just don't get the usage of random pairings because the pairings that are made these days are just for the goal of profit. Because what do you mean GMMTV has like games and like open worlds and mascots and merch and all of these events? It's like if you told me 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, 10 years ago that all of this would be happening, I'd just be like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And it's just like, it ain't the same, man. It ain't the same. But that's enough from me. Peace, love. See you in the next one. Bye bye.